And we're rolling. Jack and Stephanie, this is my partner Anthony. He's going to do the walk around for us on the outside here.
All right, so first things first, we're going to start with the outdoor kitchen here. As you see, you got your outdoor fridge. Like I said, this is 12 volts, so when the camper has power, this thing is cold. So this is in operating function there. As you see over here, you have your outdoor sink. You got a hot and a cold nozzle here. This is also plumbed as well, so there will be a lever to release the water on that flip side, which we'll get to here shortly. Up here, you do have an LED light that is push button. So in the middle here, you just press that button and you get some spotlight on your operating area that's right here. Inside here, you do have your cabinet. Also, you have your propane connection right here. So this propane connection goes to your 2-burner stove. With this 2-burner stove, if you look underneath here, on this back side, this will connect to this stove, and then you have your LP disconnect, which will be connected underneath here. So you'll run this cord into that and into the 2-burner. That is worked off of the 2 propane tanks that you have on the unit up front, okay? All right, also looking down here, you do have your stabilizers. Your stabilizer buttons are actually located on this back side of the trailer. You take a look here, you got your retract and you got your extend button here. These are stabilizers, not levelers, so just as it sounds, it's meant to stabilize the unit. They will come down in tandem. One will touch the ground after it makes contact, then your other one will release and it will also make contact. Once it does make contact with the ground, you want to go ahead and stop pressing on that button there, okay? So we'll come on back around here. Right here, this is going to be your water heater. This is an important function of your RV here. As we see, we'll open up this door. There's a few things that I'll go over this that you will need to know about this. Up top, I'll start here. This is your pressure release valve. This is meant for 2 things. 1, it lets you know if you have any water inside your tank. And then 2, it's meant to get the air out of your tank so that way you're heating up water and not any air, so you don't blow up your element there. If your water heater was to ever overheat, being that this is gas and electric, you have your reset buttons. So you'll come out here and press these 2 in sync. One's gas, one's electric. We never know which is which, so it's always best to just press both of them at the same time, and that will reset your water heater system. Being that this is a gas electric water heater, the main button to have your electric side of your water heater work will be located right here. So if you'll take a look at this, like I said, this is your true on and off switch to operate the electric side function of your water heater. If this is off, then you're only able to operate the water heater on the gas side, which is located inside the unit. If you're going to run it off of the electric, this has to be in the on position. You never want to turn this on or the gas side on until you have water inside your tank here, okay? Another important piece of your water heater will be located right here. This is called your anode rod. That is meant to get all the impurities and the bad stuff out of your water. We recommend that you check this every 6 to 9 months. After you pull this rod out, if it's rusted and corroded, that means it's doing its job. Go ahead and stick it back in there and keep using it. If you pull it out and you can see the skinny piece that runs through the middle of it, you want to go ahead and replace this. This is also the lowest point of your tank. So in the wintertime, if you're not using this trailer, we always say just go ahead and take this out. It's a 1 1/16 socket. Go ahead and store that right here, and that will release and let all the water out of your water heater tank and keep it from freezing up, okay? One other thing I want to point out, like I said, I know you guys are up north, so I don't know how the insects are, up there, but they do make a dauber screen is what we call it for here, or insect screen for your water heater here. It's another mesh metal type screen that covers this area here. In Texas, it's a big thing that they invest in to keep the insects from flying inside here, building a nest, and messing up your function to your water heater. This right here will be the backside of your furnace. So as you're running your furnace, of course, this is going to be hot. This is also an area in Texas here, and I'm sure in other places that insects, they will fly inside. That's a dark, warm spot. They will build a nest in there, and it'll mess up the function on there. So it's always best to invest or to look into a dauber screen or insect cover for your heater as well, okay? Coming over here, you do have your self-dump awning. When I say self-dump, if it was to rain or get any kind of liquid on top of your awning here, once a certain weight gets on one side of this, this will fold in and collapse, and it will allow the water or whatever liquid that may go on top to roll off of that awning, and it will pop back out to save your awning in a sense. Also, when you have this out, I want to point this here, you can actually pitch and adjust your awning here. So once this is out and you want to adjust it or pitch it, you'll put it in a position and then you'll screw this in, and that will hold your awning into place here, okay? So we're gonna come on around here. As you take a look up here, this right here is gonna be your vent for your Vent-A-Hood. If you're doing any kind of cooking inside, you wanna come underneath here, pop this out, and you wanna leave that open. This right here allows the heat or the smell or any kind of thing that you're doing on your stovetop to ventilate out as you're running your Vent-A-Hood. When you're in travel, you do want to press this closed, and it'll pop into place right there. It's the cheapest thing to fix, but it's the hardest thing to replace, being where it's located. You don't want that thing flapping around. You see right here, you do have your outdoor speakers. These are controlled inside on the radio, so you can play your little tunes outside as well as inside as well. Stepping over here, we'll look at the door. With this door, you have a master lock and you have a deadbolt lock that's located at the bottom portion here. What we do, I'm gonna open this up, show you inside here. As you see, the deadbolt is located right here at this bottom portion here. Also with your screen, as you see, it is attached. This is a friction hinge door. So as you see here, it is friction hinge, but you also have a latch that will hold this door open here to here. Also, you have a stopper here to keep that thing from banging up against the back side of that door. The next portion I'm going to show you with the steps here. These steps in travel, the way these will operate, you will lift these steps up, make sure the door is open all the way so it does not catch on it. See strut assistant, so I can lift that there, and it's going to make its way in. So that goes inside there, and you will close the door behind it. Or grab handle here, you simply press the bottom up, and you turn that on the inside. So that's your safety measure to keep your door in place if it happens to pop out and come unclosed. Another thing that I'd like to show you on these steps here, these steps can be adjusted. So if you come close here, you have these pins on the inside of your steps here. These right here, if you're on any kind of unlevel ground and you need to extend or retract these legs to make sure the steps are sitting right on the ground, you'll simply pop that out, and then you have these different holes right here to align that in position on where you need that to be so it's level there, okay? Anytime you do have your steps down and you go to close your door, if it happens to catch right here, what you need to do is make sure that you adjust those legs so that way your steps can level down a little bit more, and then you'll close the door behind that there. Be mindful and careful when you go to close your door so that way you're not pressing that up against there and your steps are a little too high so it doesn't bend the frame of your door there, okay? Slam that there. As you see, you got your awning above, your LED light. Your awning also has the AlumaGuard, which is the metal wrap, so when that awning is all the way in, you have that metal wrap that's covering your awning, and it keeps it from being destroyed in the weather and you know, pretty much the sun beating down on it and any kind of weathering that's out in the air. Coming over here, this is going to be your second area for pretty much cooking. As you see right here, you have an LP disconnect, so it does come with the griddle and also a prep table. The griddle will be located and set up right here that slides on there, and then your prep table can go beside it. Right here, your LP disconnect, that will be located right here, so you would run that same hose that we have here into the griddle, and that uses the propane that's on the unit as well. Another important piece I want to show you are your low point drains. So when you go to empty out your tanks, you have your red and your blue here, your hot and your cold. These are the lowest points of your tanks right here. So the water that does not come out from your basic functions of the levers there, these are the lowest points. This gets the residual of the water that may not come out of that full flow, but it'll come out of these hoses here. You'll simply unscrew these caps here and let that drain out. In wintertime, if you're not going to be using it, these are some caps that you want to take off to make sure that the water does drain out of that. Okay, located right here, you have a bracket for your TV. So you can simply take your TV off and slide that on here. You'll have your plug-in that's right here. It is GFCI protected, so that can plug into there. And then if you're somewhere where it offers cable, you'll simply run that wire into right here, and then you'll have cable on your TV outside. Okay. So you do have your frameless windows here, and as it's presented here, it is equipped with the Wi-Fi range extender, which will cover that on the inside as well. And right here, you have another vent, being that this does have the combo washer and dryer. It is vented right here, so that way the heat does come outside of the unit, okay? Over here on this front side, so this will be your button for your front stabilizers here. You have your retract and your extend here, so that button's located there, which is pretty much your up and down. Right here, it is prepped for a solar panel, so it's already pre-wired. So if you happen to want to do any kind of dry camping and you want to invest in a solar panel, it's a plug and play option here. So you want to make sure you get this brand here and plug and play, and that'll help trickle charge your battery to make it longer lasting. Another switch we have right here is going to be for your docking lights. So you have your off and on switch. Your docking lights are located right here on the front side of this camper. So as you see, pressing up and down on that switch, that is how you would operate that function there. Coming over here on this front side, you do have your RV or marine grade deep cycle batteries here. Simple distilled water for maintenance on that to keep that maintained if the levels were to get low on that. So that's a pretty good battery there. What I want to cover over here is going to be your propane tanks, which you have a few things that will operate off of this. Your stove top, your heater inside, your water heater if you choose to use gas over the electric. Right here I'm going to cover, this is going to be your regulator changeover here. So with this here, this changeover, you do have this arrow here. This arrow points to which tank you need to operate off of. So wherever this is pointing, you have to make sure you have that nozzle open, and this is the gas that it's operating off of. As you see this color here, it has two colors. It'll be red and green. If this is green, that lets you know that there is gas flowing through the line. When it's red, that lets you know that there is no gas that's flowing through the line. So that'll kind of let you know if the bottle may possibly be empty, or if you don't have one of the bottles open with the way that this is color coordinated here. To replace that, simply turn that off. It's just like a propane grill. You unscrew that there. See, you have your lever here. You'll unscrew that. That'll loosen up this bracket, and you'll take that out to either be exchanged or filled. Most places with these big propane bottles here, you usually have to get these refilled. All right, here's going to be your power tongue jack. You see you have a light that's located here, so you can press that button there. It kind of gives you a light on that, and then you have your up and down switch to function that there. If the power was to ever go out on your tongue jack, this cap right here, you simply pull that cap off. We have a tool inside, and as you see here, you put that tool on there, and you'll just manually crank that up and down just as if it was a manual crank over the power there. So you still can function that if the power was to go out on that there. All right, so we'll keep on coming around. Right here is going to be an area that has some of the details on the trailer that you will need to take a picture of that and keep it for reference for years on down the road. It has your VIN number, axle weights, tire size, and the weight of the trailer. So before it gets faded over time with being in the sun possibly, you want to make sure you get a clear picture on that so you have something to revert back to, as I said, years on down the road. Okay? Keep on coming around here. As you see right here, you got a storage compartment here. This is magnetic, so you simply pick that up, set that there. This is the griddle that we were speaking about that will go on the other side. And here you have your two tools. This right here is going to be an override for your jack. We're gonna come back to that there. So we'll come back to that. This is possibly the override for your slide here. So we'll take another look at that, and I'll cover that there on the override with your stabilizers there.
That is should be the override for the jack's jack. We'll figure out where that goes. That's a little bit different style than we're used to seeing right there, but we'll figure that out and come back to it in a minute. That's for the lug nuts.
That's for your lug nuts on your tire there. All right. So where we're at over here, this is going to be pretty much the outlets for your the front side of your trailer here. This gray valve here, this is piped to your combo washer and dryer. So to release that or to let the water out, you'll pull this handle here. This handle right here is the connection for your shower and sink water in your bathroom. So this is how you release those liquids there. And then behind this, you have your black handle. This black handle is for your toilet water. So your black tank flush there, or your black tank. So yeah, you simply pull that. When you do go to empty out your black tank, we always say pull the black lever, and then you want to pull your gray lever behind it. What that's going to do is help get those solids that may not flow smoothly out of your sewage hose, and it'll help maintain and keep that clean there. So pull the black first, let that flow for a little bit, and then you want to pull your gray here, and like I said, that'll help flush out your hose, like I said, to get some of the more solid things out of that hose to be a little more clean. All right, and also if you look underneath here, you do have your spare tire, which is located there. A lot of the other campers have them on the back. With yours, you have a rack, so they have located your extra spare tire underneath the camper there. All right, so we'll work our way around. I do want to point out the tires here. So your tires, the lug nuts have been torqued to 100 pounds of pressure. We say check those every 50 up to your first 200 miles, and then every 500 miles after that, you just want to give those a little hand tug and make sure they're still tight there. These are nitrogen air-filled tires. With those there, it's just like a car, just like a vehicle. You want to check those frequently. Whether you keep nitrogen in it or you want to put regular air, either or is fine. But we just like to let you know that you do have the nitrogen air-filled tires. You know, they're more equipped to withstand the weather change and also a smoother ride with having nitrogen in there. So that's the plus side about this camper here.
And if you do need to top off, you can top off with regular air.
That is correct. That's correct. All right here we got another compartment here. So as you see, you do have more storage that's located right here as well. And there will also be another area to locate this same storage on the inside of your trailer here. All right, I can't get too far in there, but looking in underneath here, so we have you have a black handle here and you have the gray handle there. So with this black handle here, this is going to be for your sink water that's in your kitchen, that's located right there. This gray valve here, this is for your outdoor kitchen, being that that's plumbed over there. That's what you would pull for your outdoor kitchen sink that's located right there. All right, also coming over here, if you look at this sticker right here, your fresh water drain. So with your fresh water drain, that you would fill up your fresh water right here. This is located here. So if you're doing any kind of dry camping and you want a little bit of water in your fresh tank, we say don't travel with more than 1/3 of a tank. You'll fill this up here. When it is full, that water will spout out at you. The only way to empty out this fresh water drain will be with this release valve that's located. It's going to be located right here. So you have this white lever here. Like I said, you would open that up and that's connected directly to that fresh tank. That's how you would empty that. So it does not empty out on the handles that we have here. It's simply this lever here to empty out your fresh tank. Back here you do have your rack. Like I said, this is meant to hold up to 200 pounds. So you can put 200 pounds on this rack here, you know, for extra storage or ice chest or whatever you like to put on back here. This trailer is prepped and wired for Furrion backup or observation camera. I'd recommend spending a little bit more to get an observation camera. That gives you visual at all times while you're traveling, or putting it in your car in reverse to get it parked. Back here I want to point out you do have the outdoor shower. So inside this here you do have a hot nozzle and a cold nozzle to maintain and control the temperature of the water that you want to come out of that. Right here, if you look close, this right here is going to be where your city water connection is. So if you get to a park wherever you're connected, your main source of water will be connected here. Like I said, it is labeled right here as well. Right here is going to be your tank flush. So your black tank flush, that's built-in sprayer heads inside of your toilet tank to help maintain that. Like I said, it's kind of your preference on how much you want to use that. You can do it every time after a camping trip, or you know, just frequently, up to your standard on how you want to operate that there. Also looking in here, you have a cable and satellite connection that's here. It's labeled cable on this side, satellite on this side, and these are going to be your plug-ins here. All right. Also looking underneath here, so you have another connection here. This is your antifreeze, if you want to winterize it. So you have a spot to winterize this, and you'll simply get a hose and you'll get your potable antifreeze. You'll run that hose into the bottle, have the hose connected here, and then you'll turn on the water pump inside. And what that is, that's going to pull the pressure out of that hose to suck it out of the bottle that you have, and that'll run that through your lines on the inside there to help your tanks be winterized. Another plus thing, or an easy way to go about that, is just to empty out all your tanks and make sure all the water's out of it. Right here you have a backlight here that is LED as well. You have a ladder here to do your maintenance on your roof once a year to keep that under that 12-year warranty. Like I said, you do have to make sure your seals on your roof are caulked and maintained once a year from purchase to keep that under that 12-year warranty. So always make sure you do that. It's best to, you can take it to anywhere that is licensed to do service work on your roof. Like I said, to keep that under the warranty, you have to have it once a year and you have to have it documented. So if anything was to go wrong with your roof, you have documentation saying that you've done your preventative maintenance once a year to keep that in good standing. Rockwood's a good quality, but you know, every area is different. You never know what may happen, but the best way to keep that in good standing is to make sure you get it done once a year and keep documentation of it. All right.
It should be everything.
All right, so one thing I do want to point out is these holes. If you look if you make your way on down the camper, you'll see these certain holes here. So what these holes are for, these are override to your slides that are located inside there. So if anything was to go wrong or the power was to go out on the slide on your main motherboard inside to operate these, the tool that we had in that front storage compartment over there, you simply stick that in there and you're just going to crank that in and you're going to be able to pull your slides in from the areas that you have here. Like I said, going back to the override on your power stabilizers, just as we said, this right here is pretty much connected to the motor, so you just have to find a fitting for that, get that on there, and like I said, you screw that in, that'll raise that up and down there to get your jacks and let those keep functioning.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at it a little closer, Jack, that's a Torx fitting right there, so you just probably run that up with a power drill. Most of them will have a little slotted thing for you to put that crank on there, but yours can actually run with a power drill, it looks like here.
So with that being said, we have covered the outside of this trailer. Like I said, you do have, your underbelly is heated and enclosed. I just looked under there, you do have a ventilation switch that's underneath there. Also with the Rockwoods, they do come with the 12-volt heating pad that is connected on that tank. So that is an extra option to keep your tanks from freezing up, especially with being up north. You bought the right trailer to weather the storm of any kind of cold situation that you have there. But that right there, that pretty much sums it up.
And that 12-volt heater operation is on the inside, which we're going to look at in a minute when we go in there. All right, part 2 coming up.